Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hit. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day. And I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Final week of Duck Insider rolls along all the way ahead here to Thursday. Chris Clayton here with you. We are have a treat here today. Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union in the Country Financial Studio. Jerry Allen, the voice of the Ducks, is with us. Big time. Thanks for being here.
Oh, I love this. I wouldn't miss the final few days of the year. Getting ready for next year already.
Yeah. We're going to have my year in review. We'll talk about kind of what stood out to me. We'll talk about Jerry's big moments as well. And now for this segment as well, we get to hear from the other member of the Oregon Sports Network crew. Dusty Harrah's here as well. He's here virtually for this segment, but thanks for being here, Dusty.
Yeah, I couldn't make it down to the big chair, but I'm just happy to be here with you guys. You know, Joey, I guess, has bigger fish to fry down in Texas. We'll give him the pass on this one, but it's awesome to be with you two today.
Yeah, he's flying to Texas. It's understandable. He's got something going on right now. For you, as part of the Oregon football broadcast crew working down on the sideline, it's going to be fun to hear about some of your big memories from this year and your experience. But just big picture, what's your favorite thing about getting to work the sidelines for those Oregon football games?
It sounds weird, and I'm not just saying it because Jerry's right next to you, but it's the crew. It's working with you guys. It's working with everybody. I mean, it's become a really quick family, and that's the most fun part, whether it's at home or on the road. When we go off and we experience new places in the Big Ten. I mean, I think that's really my favorite part is the way that the fun that we have on the broadcast. If you guys could only be with us all the other times that we're not on the air, it is the most fun. And to share game days, to share the experiences. I mean, that's the most fun part for me, is to be able to watch these games, watch an incredible era of Oregon football that we're in right now, where it's not just a great football team, it's a new experience, whether it was the last Pac-12 football game as we knew it, to experience in the Big Ten and going to these new venues. I mean, it's all great, but to be able to share it with you at home games, Chris, with Jerry, Georgie, and Joey on road games, it's the most fun, because the fun that we have, we get to share it with everybody else. That is the most fun part for me. And then just being a football sicko, being around football as much as I can.
I was going to toss in here because fans and just in general, probably even a lot of the media don't understand what it's like. Been doing this a long time, and Georgie and I have had a number of sideline reporters. It's not an easy job, particularly when you step in the first time and try to adjust and fit and make it comfortable for us, and we make it comfortable for them. We've never had anybody as quick and easy to work with as Dusty. Dusty, you got it right away. I mean, there's been no coaching, there's been no discussions, there's been let's just do it, and it's like you'd been there for a long, long time. For Georgie and I, and for Joey, that makes our job so much easier. So I appreciate you, and that's the last nice thing I will say about you. That's it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And look, I mean, I think a lot of it with the ease for me was, listening to you and Georgie for so long and knowing the rhythm of your guys' game and how you guys call a game, growing up here. It's been so fun to listen, to hear how the broadcast has evolved and to be a part of it now is just it's so much fun. So enough with being nice to me.
Okay.
I mean, I'm really not used to it.
Look, I want to catch up with you because we only get to see you really a lot, once every few weeks during the off season. But how's family? What's going on? What are the kids doing? You're still coaching? What's life right now for Dusty?
Man, life for me is I'm coaching baseball. My son Bennett is a baseball player, and so we listen to all of the Duck games, watch as many as we can, and I coach his baseball team. So we're going through that. My daughter's a soccer player, so she's on the club soccer team, and we're going all over the place. And family vacation goes from like trying to find a beach to trying to find a hotel in Bellingham, Washington, which is a little bit different, but it's the most fun. So the off season is a lot of that, and just kind of diving into my kids' sports and spending time with the family, and then working up at 105.1 The Fan in Portland, and it never is a dull moment. And with Ducks baseball going on to the super regionals, it's been a really fun time to be a part of the Oregon Sports Network at the Fan as well. So it's been keeping me very busy up here.
Yeah. Obviously, as you hear, a busy man, and makes great time for family. That's what it's all about. According to my Instagram feed, your kids are doing pretty well on the fields too, by the way. When you think about football this past year, another 13-win season for Dan Lanning and the Ducks, what stood out to you as some of your favorite memories or most impactful moments?
Yeah, I think when the program is at the point that it's at, it's really fun to see and be kind of on the other side of that. It always used to look at these teams in the early 2000s. It was those USC teams, then it was Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State. You look at those programs and you go, how do they lose these guys and get better? And you're starting to see everybody that has followed recruiting, has followed this coaching staff, the recruiting, retention, and development, it pays off in such a big way. And that is, really the coolest part to see. Is those are the memories that you have, is like when a guy comes in, and they could be a heralded recruit, or they can be, a recruit that not many people paid attention to when they signed or when they came in. But then you slowly get to see them develop, and they work into a role, and then they find their spot and they find their rhythm on the team, and all of a sudden they pop. And those are great stories. Those are fun stories to follow along with. But as far as what last year and the memories that really stuck out, it was it's not the best memory in the world, but the bounce back and just kind of that feeling after the first game against Indiana, and the way that this team showed their resilience, and all the goals still ahead of them, and then they went out and they just kind of checked every box after that. Those are the fun times. Is it's not that game, it's the game after, just to kind of see where the program goes, and then to see the units kind of all come together. We hear so often about hey, this group is the tightest group in the country, and a lot of teams say that, but very few actually are. To see kind of the way that defense talked all season long, and then at the end of the year to see all of those guys coming back for one more run, that's pretty cool. Those memories always stick. And then going to new places is always fun. The Iowa trip was miserable weather, but it was great to go and see the wave in between the third and fourth quarter, and to experience the new venues around the Big Ten. The whiteout game at Penn State, I don't think there are very many places that we've been where you can feel the energy on the field outside of Autzen Stadium, and Autzen is a special one. But the whiteout game was just a tremendous football game, and standing on the sidelines and talking to the ball boys of Penn State, when is the runner down? Do you think he was down? And they're going, at one point they're going, no, there's no way he was down. And then they look at me and they go, oh yeah, that's not going to go our way. Those are fun matchups, and those are fun times.
Absolutely. And now, looking ahead to next year, obviously there's going to be even more memories as we talk with Dusty Harrah, Oregon football sideline reporter. One other thing I wanted to ask you about initially is offensively. Obviously, Dante Moore is a big name for this group, but how about his weapons? How do you think, looking forward to next year, this incredible group of wideouts, tight ends, and running backs, how do they distribute the ball around?
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of always been the calling card is the equal opportunity offense. And it's really neat to see, an entire team buy into that and the celebrations that you get when other guys make the plays. But there's going to be a wealth of them. And it's incredible to see, in back-to-back years, it's going to be hard to replace Terrence Ferguson. It's going to be hard to replace Kenyon Sadiq. Well, then you look at this tight end room heading into this year, and it is four deep, and you go, "Oh my goodness!" The depth in the way that they can attack you is impressive. Then you look on the outside, Evan Stewart in the spring game. I think that was a breath of fresh air for everybody to see Seven back out there again.
Wow.
But you pair him alongside Decorian Moore, and you go, "Whoa, this is going to be scary." Then you add, the other names that we've come accustomed to seeing in the recruiting rankings as these guys are coming in and they're signing, but then you get to see them kind of pop, the transfer Iverson Hooks from UAB. He is twitchy and he's going to be a slot receiver that they can move around a lot and leverage defenses. It's going to be really hard to look at this Oregon offense and say, all right, what do we take away first? Because I say that without even mentioning any of the running backs. And there were two very special freshman running backs that are coming back for sophomore campaigns and looking to capitalize on what they did in year one. So the weapons, a quarterback will, and Dante Moore always says this, like, hey, it's the guys that make the plays. I just get him the ball. Boy, they got a special signal caller, but he has got a wealth of weapons around him that are going to be really fun to watch. And some names, some names are going to really pop off the screen in the first couple of weeks and surprise some people with the young talent that they have.
Well, you mentioned all those skill positions on the offense, Esty, and every one of those are true. I mean, every single one of those, along with Dante. I mean, this is a team that's got the capability of completing passes, running for significant yards, but it starts up front. Poncho coming back, I think, is one of the biggest, probably, headlines for this offense that people are overlooking.
Yeah, and I mean, rightfully so. A lot of people looked at the front four on the defensive side coming back, and that stole a lot of the attention and then Dante coming back, that takes up a lot of attention. But the center is your brain of your operation up front. You got to have five guys that are playing connected all at once, and the center is the one that really gets everybody on the same page. The quarterback and the center are working in unison pre-snap to make sure everything is right. Protections are set. Guys are on the same page. And Poncho coming back for another year is just such an anchor in the middle. And with Alik Terry, his staff, and the way that they've developed offensive linemen, I think Oregon is in such a good place when you hear a lot of the great offensive line minds around the game of not just college football, but professional football say, Alik Terry's one of the best technical and motivating coaches in the game that has to offer. And you look at the way that they can replace their pieces and everything just clicks right away. And we see guys grow and develop. It's a special group that they have in, the depth we started to see in a lot of those guys get rotated in throughout the course of the year. Football's that war of attrition where guys get hurt, and that's something that just happens. And so we saw a lot of these guys that are going to be stepping up into major roles, play significant roles for this Oregon football team last year. But to bring Poncho back is just, you can't understate what an asset he is in the middle of that offense, because he was one of the best in college football last year, and heading into this year, I mean, having him and his wisdom and everything that he's picked up over the last couple of years is going to be huge.
Yeah, you've mentioned the front four defensively. It's going to be absolutely loaded. There is a big name they do have to replace, obviously, Bryce Betcher, but you talk about the war of attrition and rotating guys in. They feel like they have the depth at linebacker that, not to say you won't notice Betcher not being there, but they still have some talent there to try and replace that spot.
No doubt about it. I mean, Devin Jackson and Braden Platt looked really good in spring and throughout, but it's a lot of the names that people don't quite know yet that are going to be the ones that are going to pop. And you do need depth. You do need those guys kind of filling in. And I think that, for Duck fans at the end of last year, it was fun to hear, guys like Bryce Betcher say that, Braden Platt was kind of attached at his hip and learning, and his leadership, Bryce's is going to be something that it's not easily replaced by any measure, but there's a lot of guys that have stepped up in their roles through the course of last year that you're going to look to and you're going to turn to in those positions. And it's that goes back to the you watch some of those great teams over the last 20, 30 years, and you turn around, you look around, you go, where did this guy come from? That's a good problem to have. And I think that a lot of heads are going to be turning this fall at that linebacker position and the growth that we're going to be seeing, because, youth can grow into veterans that are steady and great football players that seem unreplaceable. And I mean, I don't think that, when Bryce Betcher first started at Oregon, people were saying he's going to be an irreplaceable player for the Ducks team. And his growth, his development, not just physically or between the ears as a football player, but his leadership really grew into something that was truly special for this Oregon team. And now, there is a void to fill, but that's the charge of the coaching staff and this roster over the summer, is who does fill that void from the leadership standpoint.
Success attracts success. Last year they go to Dylan Thieneman, they bring him in, and he was so important in the back end of that secondary. Now Coy Parrish says, hey, I want to be that guy. So they don't drop off at all. They just continue to add. I say success breeds success, and that's a term, Dusty, it's used a lot. But Oregon has a successful fan base. They have successful venues. They bring in a successful coach. Dan Lanning was already successful with that championship on the defense at Georgia. They brought all the success in, and so the recruiting, it's not surprising to me that the recruiting in a 13-win season should be surprising, because it's been built to be that.
Yeah, I mean, expectations rise, and we hear it all the time, whether it's the players or, the coaching staff, when we hear from them that, buying into your role is paramount. And that is something where if everybody is pulling in the same direction, you don't sit there and look at a season and you say wins and losses, that's the expectation, right? The bar gets raised by the outside. Internally, they have their own expectations and what that team's goals are. And those are things that we don't know, right? What the expectations are for each individual. But you don't get to 13 wins without having everybody reach those goals and those expectations to some degree. And so I think that success breeds success. It attracts it too, and people want to become a part of it. And a guy that we've seen grow tremendously, and I can't believe I didn't mention him when I was talking about the linebackers, but Jerry Mixon is a guy that we've seen him elevate so much over the last couple of seasons. And when you have guys like him, that everybody plays their role, and if you play your role, that success will the pieces will fall into place. It's really hard to explain and define, but when you get it, you get it. And this team, it seems like in that recruiting process, they get guys that are bought in from day one when they get here. And that's such an important thing for a culture of a winning program to have. And we're seeing that continue year after year. And it's been a building process. We've seen it. We've seen the building process kind of happen, and the expectations rise on the outside, but on the inside, they're reaching their own goals.
Well, these type of discussions are fun to have on Thursday, June 4th, because I think they embody the type of discussions that Duck fans are going to be having all summer. Just a couple months away from football season, and just can't help but get into the nitty-gritty and get excited. I know Duck fans will be excited to hear you again here coming up right around the corner. Looking forward to next year. Thanks for your time, Dusty.
Hey, guys, I appreciate you, and I can't wait to listen to the rest of the shows. And go Ducks. Let's go. Go down in Austin, taking on the Longhorns.
That's right.
I'm going to be glued to it.
That's right. Joey is on the flight with the team. They're going to be going down to Austin, Texas. We're going to talk about that later on in the program. Super regional baseball against the Longhorns. Later on here in Duck Insider, we're also taking a look back at a little bit of women's basketball and reviewing their season and some highlights that stood out for Kelly Graves and the Ducks. Discussion in Duck Insider continues next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs. And for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working at our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
More Duck Insider from the Country Financial Studios after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate each instrument. The rhythmic bass, the harmonies on the piano, the sticky melody.
Hey, careful, babe. There's someone crossing the street.
Sorry, I didn't see him there.
If you feel different, you drive different. Don't drive high. It's dangerous and illegal everywhere. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. Don't forget to say you will. Don't forget to say.
And we're back on Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. We're live in the Country Financial Studio. I'm Chris Clayton with the voice of the Ducks, Jerry Allen. Jerry, happy to have you in studio. We're going to have your year in review tomorrow. I'm going to go through some of the stuff that stood out to me. Let's go through my year in review as well. Some of that's going to be women's basketball. I happen to call women's basketball, so obviously that's some of the things that stood out. But one thing I wanted to talk about as I think back to this big year in Duck sports, which, as we know, with the Oregon Athletic Department, incredible depth. There's so many different teams that win games, have their monumental moments, but you can't help but bring back up that whiteout game at Penn State. From my perspective, you guys were there. I wasn't there in person. I actually was watching it at a sports bar full of Duck fans in Chicago. And from my seat, it was just a different view of the game, but the intensity was still there. The passion was still there. I mean, that Penn State team didn't turn out to be the team necessarily that everybody thought. But at that time, Penn State was rolling, and they were healthy, and they were fantastic. And I think that was a monumental marquee game where a lot of people said, okay, this Oregon team is for real. I mean, that was special and probably a game that people will remember for a long time.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I'll just say I got goosebumps sitting in the press box in that whiteout, and when their crowd got going, it made me feel like I was at Autzen Stadium. The same feeling you got at Autzen was the feeling there. They did a tremendous job, 100,000 plus, all in white, all shaking those white pom-poms, so they did it right. But that was an early season game, and that's the game that I saw Dante Moore show me that he's got this. The pressure, I mean, that edge rush when he threw the touchdown that put Oregon on top, being able to win in that atmosphere, I didn't worry about anything the rest of the year. Now, injuries took their toll, and you know, it had something to do with the end of the season. But that game was the game that told me this is a football team. So right. That's a memory.
That was amazing. And it was in the midst of the time of year where Ducks women's basketball, as we kind of go through and review their season a bit. We'll have a highlight package from them coming up later on in the show. We're still going to talk Oregon baseball and preview their super regional with Texas. But Duck women's basketball, for me, a fun experience. Just because, first of all, they won a lot of games, but they played in a lot of close games. As a broadcaster, there's nothing more fun than calling a close game, and especially a close basketball game. I'm biased on that respect, but 15 clutch games this year for Oregon women's basketball. That means the game is 5 points or less in the last 5 minutes. And that it was a similar idea the previous season. 29 clutch games for Oregon the last 2 years, and a winning record in those games, going 16-13. They ended up taking that mantra of being the Cardiac Ducks, and what was also fun is within those battles and those emotional wins, they started to get some national recognition. It shouldn't matter. You shouldn't care what the nation thinks about these players, because in this Oregon and Eugene bubble, we know. But it was nice to see Katie Fiso and Ahisa Tute go from players that say, oh, they're going to be really good one day, to people around the country saying, ooh, they're really good, and now they're almost household names. And so, again, you don't always need that national validation, but it's fun to see them emerge and grow into those roles.
No, it really is. Chris, I remember the years when Oregon athletes or teams didn't get that national recognition. It's what you wanted. You just like, can't they say something about Oregon? Watch ESPN, watch any of the sports channels, and it's like they're not talking about the Ducks. And when they did, it was like, yeah, that's us, and that's our player, that's our kid. So it does mean something. It means something to the fans too. The fans want to see their players talked about on a national scene. So you're right. It's pretty cool. And I'm just going to toss this in. The fan base for women's basketball is electric. It's just great. I love I didn't get to a lot of games this year, but when the games I got to, it's fun just to feel the energy because it's different.
It is. And they're growing and moving in the right direction. And so looking ahead to next year, just for a moment, we'll do that later on more. But so early national top 25s.
Wow.
Your ranked team next year, and it's going to be really fun. Let's look back at last year. We talk about all these close games, all these big moments. A year in review, some of the biggest highlights from the past season from Kelly Graves and the Ducks.
Head coach Kelly Graves said 2024-25 reignited this Oregon women's basketball program. The Ducks won 20 games again, made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament. Now it's time for a new year. Stops, dishes to Jacobs, long three, got it! Back-to-back for Mia Jacobs. Drive, throws in the corner, Tuhina's got a steal, Ducks want to run. Lob it ahead to Kane, sprinting to the cup, and her layup, oh, it's good! And a foul! Over the shoulder, what a finish, she didn't even use glass. The dribble, bounces to Rambis, left block, spins towards the baseline, powers it up and in, and the foul! Dishes in the corner, Ari Long pops a three, got it! Long again! Her second triple, and she has a season-high 13 points. Got a drive, behind the back, 3 seconds, into a wild mid-range jumper. Oh, she made it! Katie Fiso! Holy, what a game for Fiso, 22. The Ducks come away with another win. Still undefeated. Oregon, 8-0. The Ducks are off to their best start in 5 years. Wow! Oregon storms back from down 14 in the second half. And the Ducks are 9-0. Oregon takes down Auburn on the road. Oregon beats Oregon State 96-73. And the Ducks beat the Beavs for the first time in 3 years. Bounce pass inside to the back cutting Erickson, blocked by Atute, and she collects it as well. Racing the other way, ahead to Kane, who's all alone, and she lays it in, 21-10 Oregon. 2-on-1 for the Ducks, give to Kane, left corner, to Jacobs, left wing, another three. Oh, 4 threes in the third for Mia Jacobs. What an opportunity for Oregon in the Big Ten home opener. The Ducks coming into this game 12-2. Hosting the number 6 ranked Michigan Wolverines on a Monday night. Rebound, Atute in traffic, trying to dribble out of a pack. She'll dribble it over the timeline herself. Atute to the rim, layup, ties the game. Ahisa Atute, rim to rim. It's 69-all. A heartbreaking loss, but an incredibly valiant effort. The Ducks storm back from down 18, but lose in double overtime.
I think they have really garnered national honors by just being in this game and the way they played, and their heart and their grit and their soul came out tonight.
Left wing long three for the tie. Oh, she hit it. We're tied. Back-to-back Ari Long triples. 66-all. Baseline inbound, get it into Long left corner. She'll pop a three. Oh, she buried it. Of course she did. The SoCal native has given Oregon a 3-point lead with 30.6 to go. Timeout USC. Inbound to Ari Long. The clock expires. Long dribbles out the clock. Kelly Graves lets out a scream. A fourth quarter for the ages. Oregon beats USC 71-66 behind a 26-8 fourth quarter. Minnesota wins it 65-60. The Ducks were down 12 with 2 minutes and had the possession, down 3. An incredible comeback effort.
There's no real losses until it's your last. They're just all lessons. And as hard as they may be, you got to take it into the next game.
That's the nature of the business. Just learn from this and keep going.
Yes, keep going. Big Ten doesn't let up,
That's
for sure.
Right. So Oregon takes this, 4 losses in a row, but plenty of quad 1 and quality win opportunities ahead. And for Oregon, that is 9 steals now. Ahead to Fiso, behind the back to Atute, who lays it in. Jacobs gives to Fiso at the elbow. Here's inside, in and out move, penetrates the cup, banks it in, and a foul. Find a teammate here, hands to Kane, driving, trying to get to the cup, bounce to Bell, left corner, wide open 3. It's good! 1:41 to play. Fiso up top to Jacobs, shot clock at 5, got to get something going, picks up her dribble to Atute at the elbow. 2-1, outside, long, mid-range J, hits it! At the shot clock buzzer. Road Warriors, the Cardiac Ducks, come out on top this time. 68-61. Oregon takes down number 16 Maryland. So with a basket to her right, into Atute, back to Fiso, circles, middle of the key, left side of the cup, lays it in. Oregon leads with 8.9 to go. Timeout Illinois. Into Jackson, full court heave, no good. Oregon wins. Never a doubt, right? Now to walk near midcourt, plenty of time on the shot clock. Oregon looking for a lead. Fiso driving to the rim, layup, yes! Ducks on top, 68-67, and Oregon hangs on. The Cardiac Ducks with another banger, a come-from-behind victory from down 12 to a 4-point win. Live from Indianapolis, Indiana, from Gamebridge Fieldhouse, it's the Big Ten tournament. The Ducks playing in the opening round is the 11 seed against the 14th seeded Purdue Boilermakers. It's the second time in a week Oregon takes on Purdue after the Ducks beat the Boilermakers 71-65. Stepping through, up and under, no. Rebound Muhammad, put back Amina Muhammad. Largest lead of the game for Oregon. It's 45-24. Dominant first round win over Purdue. The Ducks beat the Boilermakers for the second time in a week, this time 82-64. And the Ducks dance on to the second round of the Big Ten tournament. At the elbow, it went off her leg. Uh-oh, stolen. Here goes Akanawa the other way. Layup. No, it's blocked. Are you kidding me? Atute with a LeBron-esque chase down rejection. That's incredible. Shot clock at 6. 10 seconds of the game. Fiso between the legs. Free throw line. Kick. Kane. Top of the arc. 3. Cash! She hit it. 73-68. Kane dagger. Fall away 3. No good. Oregon wins. And the Ducks are on to the quarterfinals. 21-11 fourth quarter. 73-68 final. What a win. These Kelly Graves teams tend to play their best basketball in March. That certainly applies to these Cardiac Ducks. Deep in the heart of Texas, it's the NCAA tournament. The 8 seed Oregon Ducks against the 9 seed Virginia Tech Hokies. Long deflects a pass and stole it to Kane. Fiso ahead to Rambis. One dribble and missed the layup. Rebound Jacobs. Got the putback. It was all Ducks that ran to the rim. They had all the numbers. Great hustle, and Oregon leads by 20. Swanson left wing. Oh, it's stolen by Fiso. Here she goes, all by herself to the rim. Lays it up and in. Playing with a smile on her face. Clock expires, and the Ducks win. On to the second round. Oregon 70, Virginia Tech 60. Oregon dances on to the second round for the second consecutive season. Oregon going to have a load of talent back. Elisa Mevius, a year of eligibility left. Exciting things ahead. But today, the 1 seed Texas had their time to shine, and they win. The Ducks, their most wins in a season since 2020.
They finished 23-13.
I'm not going to be negative and down because this was a great year. You know, we're kind of a homegrown team in terms of we had players that had smaller roles last year and they moved into bigger roles. And they stepped up, 23 wins. We won a couple games in our Big Ten tournament. We didn't have what they had today. So I'm really proud of our team. I am.
What a journey for Kelly Graves and the Ducks. As again, you heard that stat. I think it tells a big story. The most wins they've had in a season since that COVID year, that team that would have been national champs in 2020. Let's take a little look ahead to next season for Ducks women's basketball when we come back as Duck Insider continues on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Friday, Toyota says let's put good times in gear with the Tundra, Tacoma, and 4Runner. Want some cool available features? We've got power tailgates to power game days and a trailer backup guide that's the champ of the ramp. Heck, we might even cancel Monday. Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Duck Insider. This is the final week of Duck Insider before summer break. It's Thursday here. Chris Clayton and Jerry Allen with you. Continuing our discussion of Oregon women's basketball, looking back on last year and a little glimpse ahead to next year. Is this the case with a lot of Oregon programs? You know, we're thinking about track and field right now, the national championships in baseball and the Supers. These other programs are still hard at work. They're training, they're getting ready, they're building that chemistry and that bond that we talk about once the season starts. And for Ducks women's basketball, high expectations next year. You look around the country with pundits talking about the, way too early top 25s. The Ducks are in most of those top 25 rankings, or at least very much in the discussion. Does that mean anything at the end of the day? No. But it means that recognition is there, and they deserve it. This is a team with a lot of talent. Their star, the leader, Katie Fiso, has been busy this offseason. USA Basketball 3-on-3 Women's Showcase Development Camp. That means USA 3-on-3 Women's Basketball, which is an Olympic event now. They identify and scout out talent that could be part of their group and could be representing them at the Olympics one day. Katie Fiso was part of that group at the showcase. She was on a team called Team Phoenix with 3 other teammates. They won the showcase. She was one of the best 3-on-3 players there. And it's, that's a type of experience that can allow you to grow as a player. So I think that she's primed for a huge season. Outside of that, Oregon has 4 returning starters looking ahead to next year. They have, of course, Katie Fiso, Ahisa Tute comes back. Sophia Bell comes back for this Oregon team, as does Ari Long. I mean, that's a key group of 4 right there. Then you look to Mallory Heyer, who transferred in the offseason. She's a 3-year starter in Minnesota, started 102 games there, an NCAA tournament team. Avery Kane comes back on the bench, and they have experienced player in Hillary Fuller, who just transferred in from Belmont. So, you know, Jerry, it's one of those things where you turn talent into experience, and that game experience is when teams can sometimes turn a corner.
Katie Fiso, started every game last year and the previous year, 2 years, right? Yeah, that's the experience. I mean,
she was benched the prior year, but she played every game.
Played every game.
Yes.
So, the experience, and I look back through a lot of the seasons in football, basketball, and baseball, the factor that always comes up as the success of a team in a season is the experience you bring back. And Kelly Graves has got that experience. And I'll just say this, Kelly Graves is one of my all-time favorite coaches. I just love it. He's a fun person to be around. Mm-hmm. He is extremely good at motivating a young person to play their best, and he's proven he can get it done. So I'm looking forward to next year, probably based mostly, Chris, on the fact that they're bringing that experience back.
Right.
That accounts. When you bring that many starters back, you should be ranked top 25.
Yeah, and you talk about the presence and the aura and the charisma, if you will, of Kelly Graves. They got a strong recruiting class to boot to add on to that experience. The number 14th ranked recruiting class in the country by ESPN. Brooklyn Haywood, Amelia Kristevsky, KK Holman, and Laupele Falatea, the sister of Nani Falatea, former Duck, by the way. So that's a group where, you know, you never know for sure with freshmen, but if 1 or 2 of that group comes in and they're ready to play immediately, boom, that's another impact player to add on to what should be a special season for Oregon women's basketball. So, you know, I could talk all day about this, but certainly excited about what lies ahead, and I think Duck fans are in for a show next year. It's never too early to start thinking about that schedule and slotting out openings to make it out to MKA.
All right, something very important to ask you, though, and as an announcer, I get it. How long does it take you to learn the correct pronunciation of all those names? Because you got to be working on that right now.
Yeah. Well, usually the easiest thing is to go to a practice and ask the player themselves.
Have them tell you.
Because sometimes you can go through the SID, and the SID for Oregon women's basketball does a great job, Chris Brown. But, you know, you never know for sure because sometimes the players, you know, is there a nickname you want to go by?
Yeah.
Like, it's usually easier to say, what do you want me to call you on the air? Typically, the answer is I don't care, but it's usually safe.
Yeah.
So I'm working on it now.
Well, you do a great job.
Thank
I'm just telling you, you got a lot of names you have to get right.
That's right. Be a fun year. And there's some familiar names that are easy to remember looking ahead to next year. Okay, when we come back, our final segment, we'll talk Oregon baseball. Big weekend ahead for the Ducks as they're in the Super Regionals against Texas. That's next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
When life blindsides you with an injury, you need a team that's tough. For over 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been fighting for the people. This season, we're proud to partner with Oregon Athletics. Because whether it's on the field or in the courtroom, we're both determined to do what it takes to win. Morgan & Morgan, proud partner of Oregon Athletics. Injured? Dial Pound Law. Morgan & Morgan, 10150 Southwest 6th Avenue, Portland. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone or just taking a deep, calming breath to ground yourself. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby. Better than I've been.
Back on Duck Insider, celebrating what is a big weekend ahead. Oregon baseball, huge opportunity in the Super Regionals. The Ducks are on their way to Austin, Texas right now to take on the Longhorns. Game 1 Saturday, 5 p.m. Sunday, 6 p.m. Monday, hopefully unnecessary, but if necessary, the time to be determined. Those are obviously available on the Oregon Sports Network. Joey Mack and will be on the call for those. And wow, what an opportunity. I mean, you can't help but just think about how close Oregon's been. This is the third Super Regional in 4 years. And what an opportunity as the Ducks take on the Longhorns.
Yeah, I don't want to, it's not fair to say they're due, but they're due. I mean, they and this year they have proven in every way possible, Chris, that they, no matter what the situation or where they are, they're capable of winning. They've got the pitching. They certainly have the hitting, the long ball. They can win in a tough environment. We talked about the Nebraska game earlier. Somebody was talking and said, well, they got to go to Texas. I said, yeah, they played in front of 7 or 8 or 9, 10,000 Nebraska fans and handled them. So they're not worried about going to Texas and their 7,000 fans because it's going to be raucous. But no, this is a veteran, successful team. Head coach, don't get in front of Waz.
Right.
Unless you're ready to be coached, because he will coach you.
And that's what's promising is not only do they have that experience in Nebraska where they were so dominant getting the 8-0 win in front of those 12,000 fans, they also have players back from the Super Regional from 2024, where it was a heartbreaking loss there at Texas A&M, namely some guys that stand out that were main leaders on that team. Ryan Cooney, Drew Smith, and Maddox Maloney were key pieces of that team, and they weren't afraid to say, hey, that experience is something that we learn from. Maddox Maloney himself actually said at the time that game against Texas A&M, it felt like it was bigger than just another game. And now he looks back and he kind of watched it back and thought about it. He's like, you know what, that was just a baseball game. So maybe that type of mentality can help the Ducks into this one. And Maddox Maloney spoke to the media this week about the Ducks' preparations and the battle ahead against the Texas Longhorns.
Maddox, before we look forward, I was hoping to just look back a little bit and just about the regional environment and just being through some of these great series, these great postseason environments now at home. Just for a guy who's an Oregonian growing up around here, just there's a smile on your face right now. Just, what's that mean to you? What has it meant to you now here to experience that as a player?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's a testament to the community, especially this past weekend with how many people showed out and the support. It's a testament to our program with how well we're doing and how our program treats people when we have support like that. And it's a fun environment to be around. It's cool as an Oregonian to see PK packed out like that. And I don't know, I feel special and honored to be able to be a part of it.
Maddox, 2 years ago, I want to take you back a little bit further. You obviously got to play in your first Super Regional at Texas A&M. Just wondering, what do you kind of remember from those moments being on the road, and maybe what are some of the big lessons you feel like you took away from that you're going to feel like you're going to be a better, stronger, better player heading into your second Super Regional, but this time at Texas?
Yeah, looking back on that, in the moment it felt a little bigger than just another game. But looking back on it years later, you realize it is just another game, and you still have to play 9 innings, 27 outs, and that's all it really is. No matter where it's played, if it's in Texas again by chance, different city, but all it is another game, and I think me being able to take that approach into it is gonna make this a more successful run.
If I could just ask one more about the regional, how as an in-state guy, how much did it mean to beat the Beavers on that stage, before you look ahead to Texas?
Yeah, it just made it that much sweeter. I mean, seeing the fans and how much more green there was to orange was amazing. I loved every minute of it, and being able to beat the Beavers, it was the perfect way to win that regional.
Practically speaking, I remember Texas A&M just being really hot and feeling like that maybe took a toll too. I mean, are there things in terms of preparing yourself to play in that environment just regionally that you can do this week that you learned a couple years ago?
Yeah, definitely. It was very hot at Texas A&M. That was a fact. And it's going to be hot this weekend as well. So just taking pride in hydration the whole week. I think that's important. Obviously, packing the right clothes, packing the right stuff to wear during the game, pregame. That's big too, to make sure that we're fresh for the game. But yeah, little things like that I feel like is all the preparation that's needed for the heat.
Similarly, just with like the experience that you've had and just the excitement level preparing for this, like, can you, I know it sounds a little bit silly, but can you put into words just like how exciting it is to be at this point, to play in a super regional, a chance to go to Omaha at this point in your career?
I mean, when you think about it, every time I think about it, it puts a smile on my face. Like, you play a long season, it's fun. I love the season, but then you get into postseason, and then the games just seem to mean a little more, make you a little happier. And they also make you a little more sad when the times come, like last year. But I think about it this year, and I'm just smiling. It's awesome. I love my teammates, and I just get to spend more time around them and continue to play for this team, and I feel very blessed.
Maddox, how do you kind of make sure that you stay in the moment? Obviously, you know, everybody's career eventually has to come to an end collegiately, and you're in your junior season. You got one more left. Just how do you make sure when you get these moments you appreciate and understand that the moment, while big, it doesn't get too big to where it maybe takes away from the specialness of what this team's been able to accomplish?
Yeah, I think really being able to control the mind is how I stay present. And it's easy for me to do that when I can control my breath. And when I can do that in the moment, if the crowd's loud, if the crowd's not, whatever it is, if I can control my breath, it allows me to be where my feet are and focus on the task at hand.
I know you guys are really early in the prep for Texas, but what do you know about their pitching staff and specifically Valantis, who's had a really good year for them?
Yeah, we're going to cover a lot of that this week, cover a lot of it today. But we know they have talented arms, and they're going to throw their best stuff at us, and we're going to have to prepare and be ready, and it's an exciting challenge that I'm ready for.
You talk about controlling your breath. Just how much have you been able to invest in the mental side of the game, that breath side of the game? Can you reflect on when you were a freshman, those lessons that the coaches were preaching to you, and how you're better able to implement them now that you're in your junior season?
Yeah, the mental game, the breath, controlling breath work, stuff like that, that's more of part of my game now. It's taking years of practice, and I started it around my freshman year, so I'm more comfortable with that stuff now, which is great. And being here for 3 years, you hear the lessons, you hear the things the coaches try to preach, and now I can practice them, and I can teach other people how to do it instead of just listening and really trying to understand. Now I understand them, and now I can help my teammates when the time comes.
Maddox Maloney, one of the leaders of this Oregon baseball team. Some really cool news today. 14 finalists announced for the 21st annual NCBWA Stopper of the Year Award. It's the award for the nation's top relief pitcher. And one of the finalists, Tanner Bradley for Oregon. Yeah. I mean, that's elite company. You're talking about Georgia's Caden Aoki, Cal Poly's Nick Bond, Texas' Sam Kozar, UNC's Caden Glauber, and Florida State's John Abraham. I mean, that is just a great group to be a part of, some national recognition. Tanner Bradley, a finalist, and the winner will be announced Friday, June 12th in Omaha at the Men's College World Series, so hopefully Bradley and the Ducks will be there for him to receive his award. When we come back, one final segment, we'll get you ready for a big weekend ahead on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, wondering if that sound in the hall was actually a footstep, the real danger is in your hand, when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I left my heart in Oregon. Oh, I left my heart in Oregon. Yeah, I left my heart in Oregon.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. We're live in the Country Financial Studio. Chris Clayton and Jerry Allen with you. Well, it's a big day Saturday coming up at 5 p.m. We'll be back here tomorrow to talk about Jerry's favorite memories from this past year.
Got a few.
He's looking forward to. Yeah,
got a few.
Got some things to talk about. But we also are looking forward to next week. Don't forget, Hayward Field, the track and field NCAA championships are coming up Wednesday through Saturday. It's always amazing to be a part of this community and just think about what's happening right down the road at Hayward Field at any given time.
Track and field fans are different. Okay?
Yes.
They just to sit in the stands, and when an athlete is getting ready to go down the runway for a pole vault or a jump or whatever, or coming around that last 200 in a race, the fans participate unlike any other sport. Football, basketball, great. But track and field, if you haven't experienced Hayward Field in a big meet, oh my gosh, go one time. Just go one time. You'll be back.
Absolutely. It's incredible. And looking forward, of course, to this weekend, Oregon baseball and the Super Regionals taking on Texas, and that's at the front of everybody's mind here right now. That last time in the Lone Star State for a Super Regional, it was Texas A&M, same head coach, Jim Schlossnagle. And what an opportunity for Mark Wasikowski. I mean, you got to think Waz is thinking, I'm glad it's Schlossnagle. It's a chance to get that revenge.
No, and you want that. You want to be able to attack, and there's nobody better than doing it. Focus. I've never seen a coach, particularly in baseball, focused as much as Wasikowski is. Waz is just laser focused, and I can remember interviewing him when he was on the staff with George Horton, and he was all business, all freaking business. I love it.
And he comes back as head coach and might be leading them to the World Series. We'll see.
Business.
That's right. It starts this weekend. Our thanks to Dusty Harrah for joining us here in the program. For Jerry Allen, I'm Chris Clayton. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be talking about Jerry's favorite memories, and we'll get you prepared for Oregon baseball in the Supers. Have a great day.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English, and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve